What is going on, YouTubeverse? John Stanek from Johnny Radio here, bringing you another Top 5 on this glorious Top 5 Friday, and I'm so excited to be talking to you about one of the best years in music history, 1967, and the top 5 albums of that year. So let's get right into it. At number 5 is I Never Loved a Man the Way That I Love You by Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul. What an amazing record. I mean, just the fact that it has the song Respect alone is enough for you to respect this record. But it also has so many great songs. The title track is amazing. Dr. Feelgood. I mean, she was just so ahead of her time. I mean, just that Motown sound, but also, I mean, she took it to the next level. I mean, Respect was originally an Otis Redding song that she took ownership of, made it her own, and just elevated the art form, and such a great record. It is, I would dare say, her best album for the Queen of Soul. So that is at my number 5. Now at number 4 is the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And I know a lot of you are saying, how is it that low on this list? Well, I'm going to actually announce something crazy. That's not even in my top 5 Beatles albums. And that's really saying something because, I mean, the Beatles are incredible. All of their albums are great, but it would probably be at number 6 on a top 10 of mine. It just isn't my favorite. It's not one that I go back to over and over again, although it is, of course, genius and a masterpiece, and it did so much for the music scene at the time. I mean, before that, albums were not as much of an art form until that album came along. I mean, the way the songs flowed into each other, although it doesn't have some of my very favorite songs like Abbey Road does, it does have the album closer, A Day in the Life, which is one of the best album closers of all time. Incredible the way they have that sweeping orchestra, just take it to another level. Just for that song alone, it deserves to be on your top 5, and just incredible. So that is at my number 4. Now at number 3 is Axis Bold as Love by Jimi Hendrix. This is actually the second record in the year 1967 that Hendrix put out. I mean, talk about prolific, and the amount of amazing songs on this record. You got Little Wing, you got Bold as Love, which is such an underrated masterpiece of the song. The way that song builds, and the guitar solo at the end, you feel like you're taking off in a spaceship. It's just like this crazy sound with the flange effect all over it. And then you've got ballads like Castles Made of Sand that are just gorgeous. Such an amazing album. He influenced just so many artists in that 1 year alone. Incredible. So that is at my number 3. Now, folks, at number 2 is The Doors, the self-titled masterpiece, one of the best first albums of any rock band of all time. Just that opener of Break On Through, going through to Soul Kitchen, The Crystal Ship. You got Backdoor Man, you've got The End, one of the most epic closing songs of all time. Of course, you have the hit song Light My Fire. This is just one of the best debut records ever, and The Doors, definitely one of the best bands of all time. I would say this is their best album. And, you know, it's kind of sad when you say bands' debut albums are the best. But I mean, it's not like they just peaked and went downhill. No, The Doors always put out great quality stuff. Pearl Jam 10 is another one that comes to mind. They're always great. But that opener, man, that debut record is just something to be reckoned with, and one of the best of all time. So that is at my number 2. Now at number 1 is Are You Experienced by Jimi Hendrix. Yes, I had to put Hendrix on this list twice. And yes, again, Sgt. Pepper was below all this at number 4. But man, another amazing debut album. And although I wouldn't say that this was his best, actually Band of Gypsies, his live album before he passed, is my favorite Hendrix album. But oh my God, what an amazing debut. You got Purple Haze, you got Manic Depression, Hey Joe, one of my favorite, if not my favorite Hendrix song, The Wind Cries Mary, Red House, Foxy Lady. I mean, it is all here, folks. The hits and the B-sides are all equally amazing. It is just... He came on the scene like out of nowhere, this guy, and just changed the landscape of music the same way that the Beatles did with Sgt. Pepper. But I feel like Hendrix did so even beyond that. Aside from the fact of him being a black man playing in kind of a white man's world of rock music at the time, it's almost like people didn't even notice because he was just so good at what he did, so good at infusing blues with rock, he was just all over the place, but so amazing at what he did, especially on guitar. I mean, just the greatest guitarist of all time. I could go on and on about this guy, but Hendrix just owned 1967. Let's just say it. And that is my top 5, guys. So let me know in the comments below what you think. What would your top 5 be? I'm sure a lot of you would put Sgt. Pepper at number 1 and crucify me and yell at me and say all kinds of things, but I don't care. That is my top 5. It's my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. You're entitled to yours, so let me know. And if you're so bold, leave me a top 10 even. I would love to see it. And guys, every Friday we've got top 5s. We've got album reviews. We've got Viva La Vinyl classic album reviews and Heart of an Artist podcast, so much more. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, Viva La Vinyl. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, all that jazz. Check out some of my other content that you can see on the screen now. Thank you again for supporting Johnny Radio. Take care, and I'll see you soon.